Mike Woodson is a uniquely toxic character. What did he say in the press conference afterwards? Hillbilly monkey.
Yikes.
We're going to contrast and compare, and I'm dyslexic, between him and Dusty May. Let's get into it.
Pretty simple. I win.
For three on the way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. It means the world to me. And we lost again, another game where the Hoosiers weaved their way back into the game and then just couldn't get it done in the end. It's becoming really uniquely frustrating in a lot of ways. And is it just me, but I feel like I am in the weirdest position watching some of these games. Like, should I feel sorry for Mike Woodson? Then a bunch of other things jump into the back of my head about guys missing practice before the Purdue game, which is a fact. How do you miss practice before the Purdue game? I don't know. We're going to show clips, and you're going to want to stay to the end of what Dusty May said in his press conference compared to Mike Woodson and his, and it was a weird press conference. But if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below. This is Indiana Sports Connection across the country and across the globe. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's pump this video out to as many Hoosier fans. The fans are coming back to the hall. They're pouring back into the hall and all the message boards because we know it's only a matter of time now before we will not have to watch any more of these boring press conferences anymore. And hit that bell notification because I am going live in a lot of videos here coming up. There's a lot to talk about the team, about the coaching situation, who's coming in, all the different candidates. So you're going to want to be getting live alerts on all of stuff like that. And the video is brought to you by BetUS. Use my promo code Indiana125 to save 125% on your first 3 deposits, and 10% of the AdSense revenue on this channel goes to T2T.org. Without further ado, let's get into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers. All right, Hillbilly Monkey, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't care who wins this game. I don't like both of these teams, but I guess just because I'm a Hoosiers fan, I'm going to root for the red one. But we're going to talk about the game yesterday, look at some of the stats. This was another game where I'm happy they didn't roll over. I'm happy they showed some resolve, but the comments that Mike Woodson said in the press conference afterwards, always, I'm going to call it
Uniquely toxic.
Always uniquely, it was a little bit like the Twilight Zone at times because he said something, then he backtracked, and we're going to get into looking at all those clips in just a second here because I do want to talk about a couple of players. I mean, one guy out of all of these guys that I think is the most staggeringly disappointing, and I watched, over the summer, I watched 4 or 5 Washington State games, and I thought Miles Rice was just going to be a home run kid. I mean, his story, his leadership, his quickness, all these things. And then you look at this game, and you look at the stats, and you're like, Miles Rice, 12 minutes, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 points. They showed him once on the bench, and he just looked like he was, and he didn't play in this game again, and it just has me baffled. Like, what is it about Mike Woodson or the coaching staff? What is it that they can't see? I mean, really, we all know what it is. We know what it is. It's playing that high-low. It's just like having the point guard only try to get the ball to Renew up there on the block so that he can get the ball down to Ballo. And when that's not there and everything's all clogged up, a 6'1", 6'2" point guard like Miles Rice that needs space to operate, speed needs space, right? That's why rockets go super fast, because they go into space, right? I mean, once you're in space, you can travel like 30,000 miles an hour and there's no resistance. You need it. You need space for this guy to operate. And he's just not getting it. But it's just watching this. I think this kid's going to have a great career next year if he's not at Indiana. I look forward to following him and seeing what he can do because he's in a uniquely toxic situation. That's all there is to it. Something's going on there. They're not getting the most out of players like Miles Rice, and it's sad. It's sad, Hillbilly Monkey. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Rice, he was that guy. When we were watching clips of him over the summer and we watched some full games, we're like, how could these guys fail?
I know. And as little as like 3 or 4 weeks ago on different channels like Assembly Call and Kent Sterling, and many people were still telling me, little as like right around the beginning of 2025, like, oh, yeah, this team will still make the tournament. Oh, they got all this talent. This team will still make the tournament. This team will still make the tournament. And with 7 games left, I mean, now if they won these last 7 games, they would be in the tournament. But it gives us no way to fathom any of this stuff. And this was a joke from a commenter that left me the other day that had me rolling. Here's Mike Woodson after he wins these next 7 games.
I'm not fucking leaving.
You can just see it, couldn't you? You can just see it. If he won these last 7 games, he would just be glued to his chair. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. I built this shit. And ain't nobody gonna kick me out. Like, dude, I mean, oh, man. That was hilarious. I forget who sent that clip to me and said that, but it had me rolling. So let's get into the clips of what Mike Woodson said in the press conference afterwards, because a lot of it was waxy stuff in between the ears, freaking mustard shit type stuff, like where he's talking and you're just like, yikes, my God, what is going on here at Indiana basketball? So yeah, this clip, he kind of acknowledges what has been happening here a little bit, but then about 2 minutes later, we'll see what happens next. Hillbilly Monkey, roll it.
We haven't been the same team, for a while, and for whatever reasons, it's, we've dug a hole, and I've done a terrible job in really putting them in the best position possible to win, I think, and but emotionally, these kids have taken a beating a little bit, and it's my job to try to lift their spirits and keep them heading in the right direction, man, because there's still a lot of basketball left. 7 games is a lot of games, man, and we're still trying to play to stay in the Big Ten tournament, and then see where that takes us. But
when he said he did a terrible job, I was like, now I'm listening, okay? Go on. Please embellish. Please enlighten me. Please. But it's funny. I mean, just these press conferences now. And I said I was not going to make any more videos attacking Mike Woodson. I'm not attacking him. But look, I'm a comedian, and this is comedy gold, Jerry. It's gold.
That's gold, Jerry. Gold.
I got to squeeze these lemons. For all they're worth at this point, because the next coach, hopefully, we can't read these press conferences. Like, the next coach is getting it's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird down there. It's weird. Doing some weird, wacky stuff. It's like when Dom DeLuise, stopped by the Carson show and he peed his pants, and like, that's kind of what's happening with Mike Woodson here. But this next clip, and I love Brian Regan because he always talks about whenever teams lose, the team is the winner says, well, we give them a lot of credit. And then Mike Woodson right here, Hillbilly Monkey, roll it. You can't make this stuff up.
You gotta tip your hat and give them a lot of credit. I do. Because they could have folded it up and called it a night, but they fought the second half. Michigan scores a lot of points. We held them to 60 to 70 points, and second half they only scored 27 points. So I thought defensively we made a nice adjustment.
They could have folded it up and called it a night. It was like 1 in the afternoon. I mean, what are you going to do the rest of the day? I mean, oh no. I get the feeling like, yeah, they could have folded it up, got on the private jet, went down to Florida, had a couple of cigars and said, screw this basketball thing. I don't like being in Bloomington in February. The ice coming down. And then this next clip, they ask him about, you weren't the same team, like, so he kind of acknowledged earlier that there was some wrongdoing and we want to hear some expansion on that. And so this is why the situation is uniquely toxic. Hillbilly Monkey, let's roll that clip.
You said you haven't been the same team. Is that because of the losing streak, or did that start because the team got booed at the Illinois game?
Well, I mean, you can look at it in all kind of ways. I'm not even going to go there. I thought at that time we were playing pretty good basketball. I think we were 13-4 and 4-2 in the Big Ten without our leading scorer, and then all hell broke loose, and we just haven't been the same.
Yeah, you're 13-4. Yeah, you're playing some pretty good basketball. You got like an 8-point victory against Winthrop. Beat Rutgers without their best player, beat USC, who is complete dog crap when you played them. I mean, at home, USC at home, they got to do a West Coast swing, and they're not good. You should win that game. You should beat Rutgers because they're not playing defense this year. Not looking at the particulars of any part of this is just, whoo! I mean, we know... And we're going to see a clip of Dusty. You're going to want to stick around here because we're going to see a clip of Dusty. And it almost brings a tear to your eye when you watch a coach actually articulate something in a way that the people would want to hear. There's an idea. Hillbilly Monkey, roll that clip of Dusty.
17-point lead in the second half became tied.
Yeah, for the most part, I thought we continued to play pretty good basketball. Look, you drop the ball, I don't know what to say. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes stuff happens. And so we're not going to dwell on those possessions, even though those are the plays that ultimately got the snowball moving, right? And going downhill. So we're going to continue to work on being ball strong and playing with greater focus and attention to detail for 40 minutes. But there wasn't ever a time when I felt like, man, we aren't competing at a high level. We missed a blockout or two, but for the most part, I would say we graded about 90 to 95% on our blockouts. I thought we ran the floor. And even late in the game when our offensive possessions weren't clicking, and I thought their zone was really good, and it changed the tempo of the game and their press. But I thought we did the same thing to them. We forced them to go later clock before they could find what they were looking for. So I thought both teams did a nice job.
Great coaches, even in victory. Great coaches, even when they're victorious, look at all the particulars. You don't just chalk up a win against some team, like a crap team like Indiana, and say, well, we got 95% of our blockouts. He's still looking at like, yeah, why did we let them come back? Because Michigan's let that happen several times. I mean, he's talking about all of the real things you need to resolve if you want to get to the Final Four. Okay? That's what his mindset is. You can tell that's what his mindset is. And our coach has this mindset. He says that, earlier, he made some mistakes, right? I mean, you made some mistakes. You're not putting him in position to win. And then he says this, Hillbilly Monkey, roll it.
I want to say, Mike, you mentioned that you feel like you haven't put them in the right position to win. What maybe would you change, I guess?
Well, I mean, maybe that's a false statement. I mean, I think we've had some games where, we've had an opportunity. The Purdue game was an opportunity to win, the Maryland game. So we fought. We're very competitive. Wisconsin game in the first half was just non-existent. And the night, we just couldn't make shots the first half. And I thought,
this team just flounders on the brink of getting blown out, getting smoke blown up their own ass because, well, you fought hard for a couple minutes there, didn't you? And just complete and utter failure. I don't understand it. This team is so disappointing, and it just all comes down to coaching, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm not a coach, but all you got to do is live a little bit of life, and you'll find a lot of this stuff to be true. It's all pretty true, right? I mean, it's all pretty true. And then this is a really quick clip because Hillbilly Monkey, what did Mike Woodson say when he was asked about what the deal is with this team?
Coach, earlier this year, Luke Goody said that this is one of the most talented Indiana teams he's seen in a long time. Why hasn't that necessarily translated to on-court success?
I wish I knew, as the coach.
And so, during the game, he looked really pissed off, because he got fired from this job. He's not retiring, nothing. This is not a conversation he wanted to have. This is not even a conversation that he saw coming from a mile away, which is also baffling when you're getting booed and you're losing and you're setting up cupcake schedules and you're paying $5 million for players and you don't even look at who's at the top of the heap. These are the teams that are rebounding, and doing all of the little things. Michigan, you got to hand it to him. That Danny Wolf is a relentless rebounder. Here is a real coach that has a real mission that's not blowing smoke up people's asses just for running hard for a couple minutes. I mean, God, this is college basketball at the highest level at Indiana University. It should take more than just somebody, oh, well, I saw you weren't jogging back on defense one or two times. So, because this game, I'm going to tell you, we got beat down the floor in the first half. I mean, it was just atrocious. Mbako, Renew, and Balo, they just loaf down the floor over and over and over again with no regard for any of it. Renew just gets beat and dunked on. He don't care. He's give me the ball back. I just want to be able to shoot a shot. And I am happy they did show something in this game, but I reserve any right to not be happy because you play to win the game, right? And Dusty May, a real coach, says shit like this. Roll it!
I love being at Michigan. I love our team. We're fighting like crazy. That's it. I mean, this place is my foundation, but I'm very, very happy at the University of Michigan. Came here to win a game and mission accomplished.
Man, Hillbilly Monkey, just seeing Dusty down there, people love him. What do you think about the team and Dusty and Mike Woodson and all of this BS that has just filled our heads this entire year? It's so astounding. What do you think?
Carved from the sands of the Wabash River and formed into a monkey lamp that's sold at Home Goods. It's the Hillbilly Monkey Perspective on Indiana Sports Connection. Well, I'll tell you what, Dusty is a class act, and he gonna say all the right things, and he don't want to ruffle people's feathers in Michigan. He may come to Indiana. I mean, I don't think at this point, I think Chris Beard is a better hire than Dusty May. I just think he fits in the position, and he's got that kind of gruffness and the toughness, and he's a lot more of a rah-rah guy and goes out there and does more clinics and wants to spread the game. And the more I've been watching about this guy, I love him. But Dusty May coming in this game where the Hoosiers, they fall asleep for many parts of the game, but I did have a bet on the Hoosiers to cover the spread. So thank you to Anthony Leal for hitting that last three-pointer, because today I'll be eating chicken wings during the Super Bowl for free because Anthony Leal made that shot. So at least one thing on the Indiana Hoosiers is paying off for me in the long run.
That's the most positive thing I've heard all day about this team. It was an interesting game, to say the least, having Dusty May come back after the announcement, and we're going to be making more and more videos about, we got some sweater chats coming up about all the coaches coming in, which ones we're looking at, because I'm not only just focused on Chris Beard, I'm really focused on a lot of these other coaches. TJ Hushmanzada guy, I cannot pronounce his name, and all of the other ones. So be watching out for those videos on the sweater chats as well. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. Until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.
This is paying off for me in the long run.